So today you will discover what are the 7 steps to practicing a brain fitness. So I will go over those steps one by one, and then we will take our brain to the gym and we'll actually put those steps into practice. So what are those steps? This is basically a blueprint to a brain fitness and mindfulness ongoing practice. Step 1, you want to schedule a time and you want to have a set location that every day, this is your spot. This is where you're gonna go and have that quiet time. Wherever that is, that's like your little sanctuary. So that's as simple as it sounds. Just having that designated spot and having a designated time really sets the tone to make this a permanent habit. Step 2, set a timer. You want to have a timer. Keep track of time. You don't want to keep peeking and focusing on a clock. So you definitely want to go ahead and set that timer for, if you're new to the practice, anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. And then you increment as time goes on based on how comfortable you're feeling with the practice. Step 3 is finding a comfortable position. So once you're at your place and you have set the timer, you want to sit in a posture where your feet are flat or cross-legged. And then step 4, which goes right along, is getting into that posture of dignity, getting the rest of your body into a posture of dignity, or what we call a mindful body, which means our back is straight. Usually we face our palms on our lap to ground our central nervous system. And then we close our eyes or we softly gaze somewhere. That's step 4. Step 5 is where we then take 3 deep breaths, 3 cleansing breaths. Why? Because deep breathing helps to ground your central nervous system. It not only does that, or more like it does that because it activates the smart part of your brain, the cortical region of your brain, which is behind your forehead. Your smart brain gets activated when you take those 3 deep cleansing breaths. Excuse me. And then step 6 is selecting an anchor or a focus point, because our mind gets distracted, which is why we need the brain fitness. Our attention goes through a cycle, and most of the time we're in a distracted mode. Basically 67% of our day we're in distracted or completely mind-wandering state of the attention cycle. So we really need to hack that attention muscle. So selecting an anchor, a point of focus for your attention during brain fitness is critical. You want to focus your attention on one of your senses or on a spot of the body, which we will practice today. And then step 7, the final step, is maintaining attention on your anchor or point of focus. And that's the brain fitness. That's taking your brain to the gym. That's taking that attention muscle to the gym and doing the reps. That's why you usually see a little brain lifting weights, because that's the actual brain fitness component of it, where you have to sustain that attention and you realize that your mind wanders and you bring it back. So now we will take our brain to the gym and put those steps into practice. So of course, we already at this point should be in a location that ready for this practice. I'm going to be keeping track of the time for you, so I will be your timer. And now we are going to get into that posture of dignity. You should all be sitting down with your feet flat on the floor. Put the palms of your hands facing down, because that's a quick hack to ground your central nervous system. Your back should be straight, but not rigid, but just off the back of the chair. And you want to softly gaze somewhere, or if you feel comfortable, you want to go ahead and close your eyes. And now we will take 3 cleansing breaths. And cleansing breaths are where we actually inhale through our nose and we exhale out our mouth. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale out your mouth. And for the next 2 inhale and exhale, I want you to count to 4 on the inhale and count to 6 on the exhale. So let's go ahead and count to 4 and 6. 4 on the inhale, 6 on the exhale. And now that we have brought our central nervous system back online and the cortical region of our brain is back on, now we want to go ahead and pick a point of focus. And usually when we're new to this practice, we usually start by putting 2 fingers underneath your nostrils, and we're going to anchor our focus, anchor our attention on how the oxygen feels as you're inhaling and how it feels as you exhale out your mouth. And what you should be feeling is that as you're breathing in through your nose, it feels a little cooler. And as you exhale, it should feel a little warmer underneath your fingers. And we're just anchoring our attention on that oxygen as we inhale and we exhale. And we're just going to spend a little time here anchoring our attention, doing the reps for our attention muscle. And now let's bring our hand down to our chest area. And you want to anchor your attention as your lungs expand and contract. That's your anchor. That's your point of focus. So as you breathe in and you breathe out, you're just focusing on that movement. And you want to now bring your hand down to your stomach, abdominal area. And same thing, you want to anchor your attention and you want to connect first with your breath in your stomach area. And as your stomach expands and contracts, you are anchoring and focusing your attention on that movement. And so now that's our point of focus. Now we're going to challenge our attention muscle just a bit. And we're going to bring our hand back to our heart area, to our chest. And we're going to breathe in and breathe out your mouth. And you're just going to keep your hand there. But every time you breathe in, you're going to count 1. And when you breathe out, you're going to count 2. And you're going to breathe in 1. And 2. And keep counting in your head. 1 every time you inhale and 2 every time you exhale. And bring your both palms down to your lap. And you want to now, every time you inhale, count 1. And when you exhale, count 2. I'm going to keep counting as we breathe, and I'm going to hold count for 2 minutes. We're going to challenge our attention muscle, and we're going to see how far we're going to get in our counting. So every time you inhale, you're going to keep counting 1, exhale 2, inhale 3, exhale 4. So we're going to get started, palms facing down. Inhale 1, exhale 2. And keep counting, and let's see how far we get, and I will keep time. And if you have lost track of your counting, every time you lose track, you want to start again with 1. Just keep counting as you inhale and you exhale. And if the mind wanders, you bring it back and keep counting. And you will slowly bring back your focus to wherever you're sitting down. And that was just a very brief practice, but most of us get very uncomfortable with silence. And that's why people find it so hard to practice the brain fitness. But keeping these steps in mind, following them as simple as they sound, that's how you take your brain to the gym. There's no other way to train that attention muscle. But remember, where that attention muscle lives is where all our executive functions live. The prefrontal cortex of our brain is where all our smart functions, from planning, decision making, regulating our emotions and behaviors, and many additional, anything that makes us a smart human, is in that part of the brain. And that part of the brain is usually offline in this modern day society and during these definitely disruptive information overload and chaotic times that we're living. So we have to train the attention muscle. We have to strengthen that attention muscle so that we can be more emotionally intelligent and present in our personal lives and professionally, because it impacts our well-being and it also impacts our performance and capacity to achieve the goals that we have personally and professionally.